Am I the asshole for refusing to attend family events on my wife's side unless she stands up for herself? My wife, 35 female, and I, 36 male, have been married for 4 years and have 2 kids, 3 and 1. My wife's parents divorced when she was a teenager, and both her mom and dad have since remarried. There is a lot of competition between her mom, dad, and stepmom in terms of family time. Everything has to be equal, meaning if we spend an afternoon with her mom, then we have to do the same thing with her dad and stepmom. Mom and stepmom especially put a lot of pressure on my wife and guilt trip her about it. My wife has a lot of trouble standing up for herself and saying no. Before we had kids, this wasn't as big of a deal. If we had to attend 2 to 3 different Thanksgivings or Xmas gatherings, not a huge deal. I mean, it sucked, but it wasn't the end of the world. Now though, with 2 young kids, it's exhausting and I absolutely hate it. My wife and I have had numerous talks about her setting boundaries about this, because I am at the end of my rope with it. The bickering and pressure is constant, and the need to keep everything equal essentially determines our entire non-work schedule. We had to attend 2 separate Easter events this spring. We're not even religious, because we went to one with her mom, so we had to do one with her dad and stepmom. After that, I told my wife I was done with this BS. I told her that she needs to stand up to her parents and start setting boundaries and saying no. I told her I won't allow her parents to continue to dictate how we live our lives. I told her if she is incapable of doing this, then I will absolutely step in and tell them off. But she begged me not to do that, because she doesn't want to ruffle feathers and promised she would do better. Of course, that didn't happen. We ended up having to run around to 3 separate places on Memorial Weekend because of this same stuff. After we got home from the last stop, I told my wife I'm done with this and will now pick and choose which things I want to go to. I won't stop her from going, and I will stay home with one or both kids if she doesn't want to take them. But I'm done. Lo and behold, this past weekend she was talking to her mom, and 4th of July came up. My father-in-law had already invited us to his house for a pool day, and my wife told her mom about it. So of course we have to do something with them that weekend as well. When my wife told me about this, I told her that I will not be attending both, and I will choose if I want to attend either. My wife must have vented to her mom about this, because a couple days later, I got a call from my wife's stepdad, the only sane person in this, really. He told me that he completely agrees with me and that he's talked with his wife numerous times about not pressuring my wife, but she doesn't listen either. He suggested that whenever his wife pressures my wife into keeping things equal, that he and I go golfing together instead. When I told my wife about this idea, she called me a jerk and told me I'm being unsupportive. Not the asshole. But you two need to work on this to find a solution. Personally, the solution should be along the lines of telling everyone, with 2 young kids, it is just not possible to keep running around to different households for events and holidays. We are finding we don't have time to establish our own traditions with the children because we are trying to keep the peace between you two. With this in mind, we will be alternating holidays and choosing to skip some that we will want to keep to ourselves. Should we host, invitations will be extended to everyone, and we expect a civil gathering. If you don't feel you can contribute to that environment for the sake of the kids, then please RSVP no. Thank you for understanding. Your wife calling you unsupportive just reads as she needs someone to stand up for her because she doesn't want to do it for herself. Have a talk with your wife about how exhausting this is for you. Focus on wanting to spend more quiet time with her and the kids, instead of not wanting to do things with her family. Something you don't mention is your family. When do you spend time with them if you are divvying up holidays between 2 gatherings already for just her family? Something you don't mention is your family. When do you spend time with them if you are divvying up holidays between 2 gatherings already for just her family? I didn't include it in the post because of character limits, but this is a big issue for me too. Time spent with my side of the family is drastically smaller than the amount we spend with her side. Thankfully, my parents are not insane and feel bad for my wife's situation. But I do miss spending extended time with them over holidays, rather than rushing from place to place to see everybody. This should be another thing you bring up with her when you talk to her. Let her know, while your family has been understanding about this, she has been rushing you all around for the sake of fairness in consideration to her family's needs. But has been so overwhelmed and flustered, your family has been getting the short end of the stick. If she truly wanted fairness, she would be considering their wants as well. I really empathize with you here. Both my husband and mine's parents are divorced, so holidays can be a mess. We finally set the boundary of, you got Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc. last year, So this year we are doing it with... We got some guilt-trippy responses at first, but we stuck to our guns on this one, and it's been pretty smooth for the last 6 years or so. It's definitely come up during our multiple talks about this. I've gotten messages from my older brother expressing his frustration that all of our family events are now scheduled around when my wife has time between her family obligations, or us showing up for only a couple hours because we have to be somewhere else. My wife got upset with him last Thanksgiving because we missed the meal that he hosted because we were running to too many places. Instead of leaving food out for us to heat up, he purposely made up one of those tinfoil swan to-go bags because he knew we wouldn't have time to actually stay and eat. Why the is she even telling her other parent what she's doing with the other? She needs help. And I'd stop entertaining this and ask the kids if they want to go. Otherwise, your wife will rope them into the same damn behavior. Ask the kids if they want to go. Well, the kids are 3 and 1, so they don't exactly have the language skills or judgment to properly answer that kind of thing. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.